Okay, students, now we are going to get into our next unit, which is creating a drawing of a two-point perspective. So previously, we had touched on a one-point perspective artwork by creating our name art that was used for our sketchbook covers. Perspective is a way of drawing things in a geometric way to show off the three-dimensionality of a scene. This is a two-point perspective. Basically, things that are close are bigger and they get smaller and smaller as they get further away. We will use rulers in geometry to create our two-point perspective artwork. So here is an example. The image on the left shows a one-point perspective, which shows one point of view straight down the center, and the image on the right shows a two-point perspective, showing 2 points of view on either side of the buildings. So here are some other examples of two perspective drawings that were created by other middle school students. Okay, for this, we are going to need a pencil, a ruler, an eraser, and some paper. After we draw our two-point perspective drawing, then we can add color with crayons or with colored pencils or whatever media you prefer. So the first thing we'll do is create our horizon line. The horizon line is very important because it's what separates the ground from the sky. So we are going to create our horizon line a little bit high because we want to be able to see the tops of the buildings. So about 75% up or about 3/4 of the way up, I will make my horizon line. And I'm doing this quite dark because I want you to be able to see, but you are going to do yours lightly so that you can erase your lines, okay? So next I'm going to put in my vanishing points, and remember, for a two-point perspective, we need two vanishing points. And we want to make sure we put them out as far as possible because we want to leave room for our buildings. So don't put them in the middle, put them more towards the outside. So there's one and there's the other. And now we are ready to start our first building. So for this, we're going to start right down the middle. So we'll go ahead and put a line here. Make sure it's in the middle, just about that long. Let's make it a little bit darker so we can see. Okay. And you want to make your line about 3 inches long, and you don't want to go all the way to the bottom because that way you want to leave room to make your sidewalk and your street. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to use our ruler, and putting our ruler on one vanishing point, we're going to go to the bottom of our line and drawing very lightly. You want to draw lightly because you're going to be doing a lot of erasing. Draw your line down to the bottom of that line, just like that. Okay, I'm doing it darker because I want you to see. And then you will take your ruler, put it on your vanishing point, and then draw your next line to the top. So you'll be going to the top of your line you have in the center. Now, taking my ruler and placing it on the other vanishing point, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Go to the bottom of the line and then keep it on the point, the vanishing point. Move my ruler up to the top of that line and then make my next one, the next line. Okay. Okay, so this is the side of my buildings and this will be the top. So now we need to go ahead and create the top. So for this, we are going to determine how big or wide our building will be. And we're going to do crisscross applesauce. So making sure that your ruler is on your vanishing point over here. Go ahead and make your line. Remember, make it lightly. I'm doing this darker because, like I said, I want to make sure that you can see. There's one line. And then I would do the same over here, crisscross applesauce. And I will take this down to my other side, however big you want to have that one. Okay, so okay. And so you should have sort of a diamond shape right here. And it's not really a diamond shape, but if it's more of a rhomboid diamond shape. So now to complete this building, we are going to take our ruler and we are going to just come from the end point of the rhomboid diamond and we're going to go just straight down. Make sure that your ruler is straight. You don't want to have it tilted like this. You want to have it so that it's straight up and down. And then just go down and then do the same over here. Make sure your ruler is straight and just go straight down. So there we have one of our buildings. So let's create another building. So we're going to do the same thing that we did right here. And we don't have to take our line all the way to the point, as long as you do have your ruler on the vanishing point. So put it about right here. And let's draw one right there. And then put another one right there. Okay. Now it may look like it's a little uneven, but trust me, it will come out right. And here you can see that rhomboid diamond shape. And so now I want there to be a separation in here so that you can see the building next to it. So I'm just going to put my ruler on there and I'm going to go straight down. Remember, keeping the ruler straight. I'm going to keep it straight up and down. So I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go straight down. And this one will be the same. Keep your ruler straight. And then go straight down. Okay. Okay, so that's looking pretty good, but there is one line missing. So remember that in between a lot of buildings, there are alleyways. So don't forget to put in a line that will show the alleyway. So to put that in, you're going to put your ruler back on your left 1 point perspective, and you're going to put this at the bottom of your line here, and you're just going to make a line. like that. So there's your alleyway. Okay, so now we have two buildings. So let's make another building. Let's put one over here. But first, let's erase some of these construction lines because we don't really need those. Don't erase your horizon though. Just keep that there for now. Erase these. You don't want to erase your bottom line because that is where your street is going to be, or your sidewalk, whichever you prefer. Okay. And I'll erase this line here. And this one too. Okay. So just to show you so far what we've got, we have our two buildings, and then I'm going to put another one over here. This one I'm going to make it a little bit taller. So I'm going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to keep my ruler straight up and down, and then I'm going to go up about, I'd say maybe about right there. Okay, be a little bit short. Yeah, about right there. Okay, that's good. And let me make it a little darker so you can see it better. Okay. Let me straighten up my papers. Okay, and doing the same thing that I did with these buildings, I'm going to put my ruler on my perspective line, right there, and then I'm going to draw a line here, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to put it on my point over here, my perspective point, and I'm going to draw a line there. Okay, and you don't actually have to go all the way like I did. As a matter of fact, I'm going to erase that. I don't really need that because that's just too many lines to erase. And I really didn't need to draw this, but just to kind of show you. Okay. Okay, and then I will determine how wide I want this building. Remember, keeping the ruler straight up and down. You will go down to your line, and then you're going to do the same thing that you did with this, is you're going to put your ruler on your point and then bring it over to how wide you want the top to be. Let's go like that. Okay. And then take this to that point, and then make your line again. Okay, and then do the same thing here. Bring this down, straight up and down, and there we have another building. And you just erase your lines. we have our next building. So you can just continue to add buildings, and you don't have to have an alleyway. Oh, remember, we do need an alleyway here. So put your ruler on your point, take it to the end of this line, and then make your line. So for instance, I'm going to make a taller building here. So I'm going to do that is I'm just going to put it right up beside it. And it's not going to have an alleyway. It's just going to be a taller building. So like that. And you do want to make sure that it is even with the other one though. And then I will take my ruler, put it on my vanishing point, and then take it over like this. And then to make the back of this building, you will determine how long or wide you want your building. So let's take it about right there. And then straight down again. Okay. And we need to make the diamond shape. So this will go here. Up a little bit more. And always make sure that it's on one point or the other. Okay, so it has to be on one point or the other at all times. Okay, so there's that. You can always just go back and correct it if it went a little bit over. That wasn't quite straight, so. And then we'll put this one straight up and down to make this building. Okay. And see how this doesn't have an alleyway, it's just right next to it. You can do that with this over here. So I'm going to just make a smaller one. So, actually, no, I'm going to make it, yeah, let's make it a little bit smaller. So I'll just put it right there. And I'm going to let it like that. And this one will go straight down to there. And then I will put this on this line to draw the top of the building. And this right here to finish it up. Okay, it's just a small little building. Okay. Okay, so now I have my buildings. Okay, so let's have a couple of buildings that are in the background that are a little bit taller. So just take your ruler and straight up and down, and you will draw a line up past the horizon line. Let's stop about right there. Okay. Okay, so now we don't want to get too close to the horizon line or things are going to get. So just going from the top of this line to each vanishing point. We don't have to draw a line all the way, but we can draw a line there. Put your ruler on the point and then draw a line. And then do the same thing over here. Okay. So from this point, you should see sort of an arrow like that that goes up. And now just pick where you want it to end and go straight down. So I'll have an end right here. And then the same thing over here, straight down. So from here, I'm going to erase the line in here and then erase the line in there. And now I'm going to draw another building, another taller building right here. Okay, so I'm going to take this from right here, go straight up past the horizon line, make it a little bit higher, and just a little bit, about like that. And then I'm going to come over on my point. Put it on my point, and then however long I want it, I'm going to go up there. Be a little tricky. It's already getting a little wonky here. Like that. And then I want this to come over here. It's going to go a little bit behind this building. So put it on your point and on the top of your line. And then stop right there. And then just take this one and go straight down. And stop when you get down to the other building. Like that. And then I'm just going to erase these lines. And now I have two buildings side by side. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there. That's the amount of buildings that I want. And I'm going to now create a sidewalk. So I'm going to take my ruler and put it on my vanishing point right here. And I'm going to bring it down. And you want it to come down to about the center of here. Okay. So go ahead and do that. You want to make sure that it is past this point right here. So bring it down. Okay, that's good right there. And do the same thing over here. Put it on your vanishing point and bring it right down to that same area. Oops. My ruler moved. Back up there. Now erase this little line in the middle. Okay. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and go over this line again and darken it. And then do the same over here. So now we have our sidewalk, and we'll put our lines in. Okay, so for our sidewalk, we're going to remember that as it gets further away, it should get smaller. So the blocks of the sidewalk will get smaller. You will still use your vanishing points. Put your ruler on the vanishing point, and then draw one line. Keep it on that vanishing point. Draw your next line. And then just do that all the way down. And remember, as you go down, it's going to get smaller and smaller. Keep it on that vanishing point. Okay. And then you do the same thing on the other side. So I got to do this one here. Make that a little bit smaller right there. Okay, there, that's good. Now come over here, put that on the vanishing point, and make my other sidewalk right there. Yeah, about that, but about the same. You want to make it about the same as this one. And then go and make the next one. And then just as you go, just make sure that you make them smaller and smaller. And keep it on the vanishing point. Sometimes there's a tendency that it gets off the vanishing point. Okay. Okay, now you want to start creating windows and doors on your buildings, and you'll do the same thing. Just keep using those vanishing points in order to create them. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to put my ruler on my vanishing point, and I'm going to create a door right here. So, and it doesn't, I don't want it real tall, about right there. And I don't want it to go all the way across either, about halfway. See? And then I will go straight down. Everything is about, you do it just about the same. And then right here, straight down. So now I have a door. And I can make it a double door if I want to. Just put your pencil where you want it and go straight down. So now I have a double door. And if you want to create windows, you can do that too. So for instance, I want to put some windows here. So I'm going to take my ruler and put it on my vanishing point, and I'm going to create a couple of windows. So I think I'm going to start right here. Yeah, let's right there. And then I'll just come straight down. And I'm using this up at the top as a way to determine that they are straight and even with each other. And then I'll go back in and continue them over. Keep your ruler on the vanishing point. Okay, so now I have a couple of windows, and put a door over here. I'm going to take my ruler, put it on the vanishing point, and make my door. This one's going to be right. I'm going to make this over here because I want to make a window right here. Straight up and down. Oops. Make sure your ruler doesn't move around. Back on that vanishing point. Sometimes it's easy to forget to put it on the vanishing point. So there I have a window. And then I will put the door, remember, straight up and down. There's a tendency to forget. Okay? Okay, and I think right here I'm going to make this a Nike store. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little box in there on my vanishing point. Maybe put a little Nike logo in there. And then maybe over here, just put the word Nike. Okay. make sure that it's lined up. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, we have little Nike logo, Nike word. And maybe over here, I'll draw some trees. Got some trees. Let's see. You can do your design however you want to. I'm just going to, I think, continue adding some different. I think I'm going to have this roof maybe come in a little bit. And add a few more lines here. Okay, maybe some lines there. So it has like a little rooftop there. Maybe put a little chair or something. A little table. Maybe somebody might like to come up on top of the roof and just sit there and relax. Make it a little bit darker so you can see it. And have a little drink of maybe some tea or something while they're sitting up there. And let's see, I'm going to put a couple more doors over here. So let's put one right here, straight down, one right there. And you got to use a perspective point. Remember, it's got to be on the point. And put on that point, make a window. So remember, whatever you're doing, it's either going to be this way on the point, or it's going to be straight up and down. Those are the only lines that you're making, is straight up and down or on the points. You will never go off of the points. The only time that you went straight across was your horizon line. Everything after that will be on the points or straight up and down. Remember that, okay? So do whatever you want. Just don't forget to use your vanishing point and your straight up and down lines. Okay. Okay, so here is my drawing. And you'll see that I put some clouds and a cup and a bird. Some clouds up there. Got Godzilla going behind the building. And then I ended up putting in a street too. Okay. And then I'll color it. So you go ahead and you do yours. Use your imagination if you need to. Maybe Google, get some ideas, and make a really nice artwork. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start coloring my picture now. And I've gathered several different colored pencils. You can choose whatever colors you want, but I'm going to try to make it with the light source coming from this side over here. So my light source will come from this direction. And so that means that this part of everything on this part that will be facing this way will be lighter, and everything on this, I think I'll make the light source over here. So let's go ahead and kind of put maybe like the sun's going down a little bit. So that's where my sun will be, and it's going down. Okay, so everything will be darker on this side, and it will be lighter over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start darkening this in. So now to do this, I will draw very slowly and just make it a darker color. And then on the roof, well, since this building is blocking the sun from here, it will pretty much be a little bit darker over here too. So it's like a sunset. And I usually color in circles, and it makes it blend a lot nicer. So this will be just a little bit lighter up here, but still kind of dark. And to make it darker, you do push down a little bit harder. And don't forget your cross hatching and so forth too. Okay, so let's see what else I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to make this building here a darker green. And you'll see that I pretty much go in smaller sections as I color with my colored pencils so that it blends nicely together. rather than big long strokes. And take my time because I'm not in a rush. And it does take time to color these nicely sometimes. Now as I come over here, I will get a little bit lighter because it is more towards where the light is coming. So that's where my light source is. And then you can just go over it again in a different direction. And that will help give it a little darker value on this side than what you have right there on this side. And sometimes people think that you have to always press down hard to get a darker value, which it does help to get a darker value by pressing down harder, but you can only press so hard with colored pencils to get a darker color. So like if I just press down real hard, I do get a darker color, but once you've pressed down to the limit, it will not get any darker, but cross hatching will help to achieve that darker value. So you go back and forth after you've already laid down your first layer. And then I'm going to come back over here, maybe darken this back in just a little bit more over here to give it the values. And cross hatch it. Okay. So there I have my, I'm going to make this just a little bit darker. And maybe make this a little bit darker here too. Yeah. All right. And let's see, I think I'll do the top two the same color. So now I'm just pushing down really, really hard. Not hard enough to break my leg. Then I would probably go back over that with a black marker as well. I think it helps. A little light color, like green. Then I'll make that floor a different color. Maybe darker. Gray maybe. What color is this? I think this is a violet. Okay, so just so you can see that a little better. It's kind of hard to see because of the way the light is, but there. Okay. And I will do that with the rest of them. So just remember the light source is over here. So this is going to be lighter and then it will be darker on this side. And the same goes for your street. So this right here will be lighter. And then, but as it starts getting over here, then it will get darker. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll come back after I've colored this a little bit more and show you what I mean, okay? So here's my finished 2-point perspective. And you can see that the light source is coming from over here. This is where the sun's sitting. And so it's a lot lighter over here than it is on this side of my picture. So you can see this is a lot darker. And let me bring it up. Okay. So, and I used my colored pencils and did values so that this side is much darker on each of these sides of the building. So make sure that you do that too, okay? Okay? Have fun.